We're going to be taking a presentation from Dr. Mobolaji Ezekiel, the Associate Professor from Faculty of Law, University of Benin in Edo State, Nigeria. Her presentation is on ethnic religious conflicts and the challenge to economic development, the Nigerian experience. Thank you, Doctor. Please could you come up? Thank you for coming.
I'm glad to be here today. I'm Mobolaji Precious Ezekiel. My paper actually is on ethno-religious conflict, the challenge to economic development, the Nigeria experience. I have an outline there, the abstracts, the conceptual and theoretical framework, the history of the religious conflict in Nigeria, the present ethno-religious conflict Nigeria is going through, the challenge, and the conclusion. As introduction, Nigeria is, as well known, as a multifaceted, is a multifaceted country. We are very special in that we have over 300 ethnic groups in Nigeria with diverse culture, languages, religion, and like it's on there, I said, because of this, definitely conflict is inevitable. Now, you can't have diverse kinds of persons, just a matter of time. And apart from that, ethnic groups exist for their own purpose. For their own interest of their ethnic group. And in Nigeria, the two predominant religions we have is Christianity and Islam, shared mostly with over almost 300 ethnic groups. Most ethnic groups are guided by their own tenets and doctrines. And in essence, the ethnic conflict is a fight for religion dominance and a struggle for societal control. It has become a thing in Nigeria that is it the Muslim that is in power or is it Christian? It determines what happens in that country. It's so pathetic. The government is, the government is Muslim oriented. Then you find out the Muslims feel that they are in control and in charge and the other persons are inferior. In most society today, like we said in the other presentation of the main speakers, we are very religious. We are a very religious society, as many countries have found out. And they say we are happy people in the midst of suffering. We keep smiling. We are very, very religious. And we have become so religious that we are not industrious. Our industry is now our religious background or our religious groups. And the interest is so high that everybody wants to secure their own side of the coin. As a conceptual or theoretical framework, I just added just two. Because of the mobile nature of man, definitely, and in search of survival and great pastures, we have to have mixed persons. And Nigeria has more than enough. And where we have densely populated persons and group of persons, definitely those who are strong will take advantage of those who are weak. And the conflict continues. As we all know, conflict ordinarily is a discord, is a feeling of threats to your interest. Either your interest is as per your tribe or your interest as per your religion. Whatever is your interest, once you feel a threat towards it, conflict will come up. And it's an emotional thing with physical response and very, very difficult to handle. Well, with the mix of individuals and society, like I said, conflict is inevitable. And Nigeria having that, conflict is inevitable. And Nigeria having ethnic group and religious background and interest, because that is our industry now, in quotes, conflict is inevitable. And the birth of conflict starts with just two individuals. From the theoretical framework, from literatures, just two individuals with two, and then it goes on to two different ethnic groups, and then before you know it, the whole society is on fire. Religion. I don't want to go into the definition of religion. We all know our belief, what we hold on passionately to, that has to do with the spiritual inclination and all that. But I just want to look at it based on the interest of ethnicity or ethno-religious conflicts. It's considered a bottleneck in the society, and it's causing irritation between rival religious people nowadays. And the rivalry group in Nigeria, like I said, is just mostly the Christians and the Muslims, which is the undertone to many of the crises in Nigeria, which has now gone into the ethnic crisis. Let's look at the history. How did it come? How did Nigeria come to find themselves in such a situation? I even wrote there that arise, O compatriot, my country. That's our item. Arise, O compatriot. And the verse ends with one nation bound in freedom, peace, and unity. But that is far gone. Because even right there on my streets where I live in Benin City, Edo State, I don't stay within my ethnic group. I'm a Yoruba, but I stay somewhere else, almost close to the eastern parts. We are everybody's scared. Because right there on your street, you find out in hundreds so-called Muslims or people from the north. Let me not use the word Muslim now, but from the north. But once you see them, they stand for Islam. And they can stay anywhere in an uncompleted building. They don't mind. They are just everywhere. And everybody is threatening. Everybody by the day is scared that you don't know what to, maybe the next order be given to these people from somewhere from the north, and the killing starts. It just happened 2 weeks ago. I could add that to my paper. Right there in Delta State, one of my friend's village was taken over, and the governor could not do anything. Everybody was running. Now, right there in Delta State, close to Edo State, we have been thinking it's just up the north, but it's coming down now. And they couldn't do anything. And they find out the helicopters come with ammunition and food to the forest to empower these Fulani headsmen. And nobody is saying anything. Nobody is being arrested. Our government is compromised. The history started with colonialism, where we are brought together by force. I would say it's force because it was not with the people of Nigeria. We were not involved in the amalgamation. And with this colonialism, a lot of radical departure from our original and our traditional settings. And we come to get distorted cultural and political values among the Nigerian people. The amalgamation of 1914 only brought about mutual suspicion, because now the Igbo does not trust the Hausa does not trust the Yoruba, nobody trusts themselves. The major ethnic groups, everybody is suspicion of each other. Even in leadership, even the vice and the president, everybody. Everybody. And another contributory factor to the ecological conflict in Nigeria is the British protection. We have to say the truth of the North. The British is more interested in the North. They were their former colonial masters. And definitely they always hand over power to the weaker side, so that loyalty will continue. And that is what Nigeria is still paying for. The ethno-religious conflict in Nigeria, there have been various ones, especially our Nigerian Biafra war that everybody is aware of. It involves so many ethnic groups. The issue of Yoruba and Igbo clash, then also. More recent is the Shetties rebellion, which is more of religion and which has been tainted with ethnicity too. That's for the North and the Muslim. When we have the Boko Haram insurgents that we are still fighting, spending trillions of naira every year and nothing is happening. And we have the Fulani Esme menace. All these have resulted in several deaths and loss of properties, and has accumulated in the present decades and stunted growth of the nation's economy. Definitely, I take a course we call international law, international trade and investment law. There's no investor will come to a crisis-prone country to come and invest. Nigeria has lost a lot. Lots of our companies have left. Even our ICs are being pirated. There's no security anywhere. Talk of any side of the country. People are not safe. The police are not there. They are guiding the strong ones. And nobody is actually investing. We have become a consuming country and not a producing country. All the production has gone to Ghana. I went to market the other day. I went to buy Milo, a packet of Milo, only for me to check on the body produced in Ghana. And I ended up telling my students, and consume in Nigeria. That is what the situation we have find ourselves. The Boko Haram, just a brief of it, started in 2002, and unfortunately, our president then, Goodluck Jonathan, could not handle it. He was advised by the states, by the United States, never to discuss, not to negotiate with terrorists, but he didn't hear that, and today we are still paying for it. No? And then it means that Western education is sinful. And that is why in my paper, I didn't actually come up fully with solution. Because the solution I see in morning papers and being offered is education. But these people are against education. They outrightly say no to Western education as far as they are concerned in Nigeria and as far as the area that they are able to take over. And then the actual situation now is that both Muslims and Christians are losing their properties and lives. There is increase of hate among religion, both religion. It has created tension. It has limited social activities. There is lower economic growth. And it has hindered education. And not only that, the slide didn't show some there. It has hindered education. It has hindered social interaction. It has hindered social interaction. The other day, my small boy only saw also people going and he was saying, I hate these people. I was like, no, don't need to hate them. Because of some of these pictures, I'm going to show you that even on the news, when the thing is going on, it's so terrible. Terrible. There was a day we were at home, and one of our friends in the north, who is a pastor, was calling and was asking, what do I do? I'm running. They are killing my members. We are out of the church. What? Of course, no police, nobody you can call upon. You are just, once they come, you are left to your fate. By the time police will say they are arriving, a lot of things has happened. And my son said, I hate them because of that happened to our family friend. He escaped, but his church members, and it was terrible. And I said, don't hate them. That is not, I had to start lecturing. No, it's not all of them that's bad and all that. But that is what, it has in that social interaction. Even now when we are our NYC, our students that finish from our university is supposed to have a 1 year NYC, or because NYC will serve the country for a year. You cannot be posted to some part of the country. If you are posted, you are not given liberty to be reposted. It's automatic. You just say, I can't stay here, and you can't stay, because you don't know what may happen to you the next moment. And there is great loss of innocent lives. Of course, the Fulani herdsmen, of which of course is becoming popular. Okay, have been on rampage, destroying and killing people in many states. But the burning question is, which I want this house to help us to discuss, we really need the truth. I mean, education is not the solution. That is just the truth, because they are not allowing them to stay in the school like that. And even the school started by Goodluck Jonathan, the present government for the children that are on the streets in the north has not done anything. He has abandoned everything. And they are all on the streets again. Now that's why they are moving, migrating to the west, to the east, and they are everywhere. They can sleep anywhere, any shop, any building. They don't care. And they are always on their radio in case of any instruction from whoever is their leader. But the issue that is burning in my mind is that when will these Fulani herdsmen menace be classified as terrorism? Our government has refused. What is United Nations doing? And that was what I was trying to ask our United Nations visitor this morning. What are they going to do? When is it going to be classified? They can come in. Because without that, they can come in and help us. So that they can come in and help us. But our government has refused to answer that question to date. The challenge, so of course, my other senior colleague has already said some of it, the professor. Nigeria has suffered several economic losses over the years due to ethnic group clash. The impact of a conflict on the economy depends on two key dimensions: its duration and the intensity. And we have the two in Nigeria. Other impacts include destruction of properties, government infrastructure, negative toll on economic health and families, and obvious and incalculable loss of life, and huge spending on security. A total sum of 4.62 trillion naira was allocated in the last 5 years on insurgency and security issue in Nigeria. That kind of money has not been allocated to education, infrastructure, or industrialization, or any good thing in Nigeria. And yet, we have not been able to get over it. 2015, about 334 billion naira was allocated in our budget. The same thing, let's look at 2011, 920 billion. 2012, 924 billion. And 2013 and 2024, it was 923 billion was allocated. A lot of money. And this year alone, our budget that was just passed not too long ago, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, by our National Assembly and the President, the budget on security and the defense sector alone is to whoop the sum of 1.3 trillion naira. And definitely we all know, and the world knows, that even our budget, we can't cover it with our money. We don't have the income. We are going to borrow. We are already proposing, before even the approval, we are going out to borrow almost 3 trillion naira. Now we are giving this, and yet the solution. What bothers my mind here, which is another question I have for the House, is that the military is still hinged on the underfunding. And as an excuse, already we know there's mutiny in our military. Our military has been compromised. Where do we go? How do we get solution? In summary, and in conclusion, the issue of religion and ethnicity are both basic necessities. You can't do without it. We have a group. Everybody here belongs to an ethnic group, and everybody has a religion affiliation. They are both necessity, but we have found out that there are also problems, if not well handled, in a society. They are both inevitable. For one forms the consciousness of the people, and the other believe without which we are nothing but animals. The solution perhaps at the heart of the conflict, apart from military arrest, which we are trying to do, medium of adequate education, which we have been propagating for, speaking against it, thanks for the social media, it has really helped. And for such a group like this, Islam, speaking against it, is the need to move from the talk of tolerance to mutual understanding and mutual respect. And I end with the statement of Father Dominic Pray. Let us not talk of tolerance. This negative word implies grudging concession by strong consciences. Rather, let us speak of mutual understanding and mutual respect. Thank you for listening.